Hi, my name's Anne Manning, and I want to thank you for joining me here. I assume you're watching this because you relate to the title, that to some extent you struggle with low self-worth. Perhaps you have your heart set on achieving something, but then you begin to doubt yourself. Imposter syndrome steps in, and you make excuses and let it go. And then maybe you beat yourself up for failing again. So while at heart you really want to change, it seems your good intentions just aren't enough. So one of the things that I truly love and value is teaching people about self-compassion. It's been my experience that self-compassion practices can be invaluable in supporting us to become less judgmental of ourselves and enabling us to connect with our true worth. So in this short few minutes we have, I want to help you understand why it is so hard to break free from the limiting beliefs of not being good enough, and then offer a self-compassion practice that can start you on the path to restoring self-worth. So from this, I hope you can see how things can begin to turn around, how you can become more confident and truly value yourself to fulfill more of your capabilities. So I've been working on these issues myself for years, learning about what goes on in the nervous system that keeps us stuck in negative beliefs about ourselves, and then learning ways of releasing the feelings of not being good enough at a really deep level in ways that can truly transform our experience. So often the sense of low self-worth gets laid down in early childhood. The wish to be loved is a primal requirement for our survival. So as an infant or young child, you look to your caregivers for loving care. If instead you suffered neglect or even abuse, you were on the receiving end of harsh criticism, what happened is that your nervous system reacted as if you were in danger. Now, your undeveloped nervous system concluded there must be something wrong with you, or you wouldn't be treated like this. In a young child, this isn't experienced as ideas, rather a sense of oppressive, overwhelming badness. Now, when the body senses danger, primitive fight, flight, and freeze responses are triggered. Now, as a small, vulnerable child, you couldn't fight. There was nowhere to run away to. The only option available was freeze. Now, on the outside, the freeze response can look like you're calm and compliant, but internally, it's like being in a pressure cooker. Psychologist Peter Levine gives a wonderful image to describe what goes on in the nervous system at such times. He says it's like having one foot pressed hard on the accelerator of a car and the other flat on the brake. The engine is revving like mad, yet there's no movement. So in the freeze response, there's a lot of energy generated in the body, in the nervous system. However, it's trapped in your body. It isn't able to be discharged. And that sense of overwhelming badness, of something is wrong with me, becomes enmeshed in this trapped energy. So to shift the low self-worth, the imposter syndrome, this energy needs to be released. And how do we do this? But by providing ourselves with the care and the support we were inwardly crying out for as children, with compassionate, accepting presence. And we do this by offering ourselves soothing touch, compassionate gaze, and kind words. So I'm going to give you a taste of this now in an exercise called the Compassionate U-Turn. It was devised by American psychologist Chris Germer. So please find a comfortable position, either seated or lying. Allow yourself to settle into your body and into the surface that supports you, noticing how you're firmly held by gravity. And if you like, you may close or just lower your eyes. And now take a few deep, delicious breaths. Now I invite you to recall a time or a situation where you doubted yourself, where you felt unworthy, not good enough. Try to pick a mild situation, one that's just a little stressful. So picture that situation in your mind. Recall how it felt to be in that situation. Or maybe if it's easier, just connect with that feeling of not being good enough. And try to feel in your body where any stress or discomfort is located, where you feel it most strongly. Possibly the throat, the chest, or the belly. And if it feels right for you, please place your hand on the part of your body that is holding distress the most. Just feeling the sense of trust, touch, and the warmth of your hand. And if you can't identify a specific location, maybe gently place your hand on your heart, on the center of your chest. And if you like, you can even gently massage that part of your body for a moment. Just feeling the softness, the warmth. Now, please bring to mind a face, and especially the eyes, of a person you consider to be deeply compassionate. It could be a grandparent, a friend, a child, a dog, maybe someone you don't know, someone you've just seen a photo of, but that one that touched you. Just picture those eyes looking at you with genuine kindness, and let yourself bathe for a few moments in that being's compassionate gaze. And finally, I invite you to imagine someone who knows you and loves you. It could be a real person, an imaginary person, perhaps the person with that compassionate gaze. If this person were to whisper in your ear something that you need to hear right now, what would those words be? Words of encouragement, support, trust, and kindness. Examples could be, I'm here for you. I love you. I believe in you. You're okay. See if you can repeat those words for yourself in a warm, tender way, as you might to a person whom you love very much. Allow the words to saturate your being. And now let's bring all three expressions of compassion together, giving yourself soothing and supporting touch, bathing in the compassionate gaze, and offering yourself words of kindness, words that you need to hear right now. And finally, begin to let go of the practice. Just settle back into your body, feeling what's there and allowing your experience to be just as it is, and allowing yourself to be just as you are. And now when you're ready, gently opening your eyes. I invite you to savor what I trust is a sense of warmth and well-being. And notice how your relationship with the situation or the feelings you first thought about may have softened. The energy shifted, even though nothing in the actual situation has changed. So this is a taste of the kinds of practices you can learn to help restore self-worth. In my experience, it takes time to install a fresh approach to your mental habits, to build resources that bring about lasting change. And for that reason, I've devised a 6-week program working with people individually to not only teach different ways of restoring self-worth, but also to help these practices replace old patterns and become part of how you relate to yourself and to your experience now. So if you're interested to learn more about this program, please click on the link below, and I thank you for your presence today.